Arc Raiders is a third-person perspective extraction shooter coming out October 30th, 2025. Normal extraction shooters, or at least the major popular one, has something called wipes, which completely wipe your account so you start fresh. My interpretation of these wipes was so that they can do patch updates and basically change some major things within the game in order to improve the game. Escape from Tarkov has not actually had a full release yet. The full release is coming later this year, I believe. But that was the reason for the wipes, was to introduce sort of a beta type situation, play through that, learn from this beta, and then wipe the server, wipe your account, so you restart with the new ideas then they implement in the next patch. What's exciting about Arc Raiders is it's releasing as a full-fledged game. This is version 1 that we are getting. Sure, we're probably going to get some patch updates and everything like that, or some changes in the expression of the game and how they like to present it to us, but they are not doing traditional wipes. They want to respect players' time, and they're doing what's called expeditions, and they released some information about that. Let's take a look at it. It says here, "Hello all, I'm Virgil, the design director for Arc Raiders. I'd like to spend a bit of time talking about a topic that is important to many players familiar with games like Arc. This being the subject of progression wipes, or as we refer to it, the Expedition Project. Previously, the question of how we will handle resets or wipes has come up. Until now, the answer has been that currently we do not intend to do mandatory wipes. These words were chosen carefully as we don't intend to have mandatory wipes. However, as some have guessed, we do have a voluntary reset mechanic. As a content creator, I gotta say, I really love these wipes. A lot of my beginning tutorials for Escape from Tarkov have absolutely caught fire. Like, a lot of people watch them. They continue to, every time there's a wipe, grow even further. And it's really awesome to see all the views kind of just pile up. So it's going to be interesting to see how these, how I work with this Arc Raider expedition to try to, create content around that. Let's get back to it. Virgil continues. Just to make it clear, we absolutely see the benefits a global wipe provides. Veteran players can experience the game fresh, the economy is reset to the baseline, and all players have about the same level of capabilities, at least for a little while. However, one thing a mandatory wipe does not do is respect the investment of those players who do not have as much time to play overall. So, as we have done with several other mechanics, before mimicking other established mechanics, we'd like to try our own method, ideally to the end that best suits Arc Raiders and larger majority of its players. And this is what I love about Arc Raiders and its developers. They play their game, they see what works and what doesn't, and try to improve the enjoyment of their play sessions. They make the game they want to play. So that's very exciting. Let's continue. Which brings us to the Expedition Project. The tunnel networks connected to Speranza are vast but largely unexplored or inaccessible. Most survivors stay within their settlements, but like the raiders who dare venture topside, there are those who dare venture even further. Once the Rust Belt has given all it can offer, some raiders choose to set out beyond the borders of what they know. As of now, this has always been a one-way trip. In the full game, players will have access to a feature called Projects. At level 20, the first major project players will have access to is the Expedition Project. Upon completion, this project makes a character reset available. If a player completes a reset, they will be able to do so again so long as they complete another one of these projects. The Expedition Project will operate on a repeating cycle of roughly 8 weeks. During the course of these 8 weeks, players can contribute toward and make progress on their Expedition Project, which will overall be somewhat large time investment. At the start of the 8th week, the ability to finalize the project will become available and will remain available for that entire week. If a player has fulfilled all of the necessary stages of the project, they will be able to commit to completing the expedition during this period. Should a player's project not be ready during the window to complete the expedition project, their progress will be kept, allowing them to continue working on the project until the next finalization window. Other projects may be added over time as part of updates, holidays, and other events. These will range in scale and reward in structure. So what's kind of cool about this is it sounds like they're weaving this into the lore, and it says here, once the rust spell is given all it's going to offer, some raiders choose to set out beyond the borders of what they know. As of now, this has always been a one-way trip. And so when they say one-way trip, that sort of tells me that in the final week before we complete the project, the lore behind it and the reason we reset is almost like we had to drop everything or something happened with our loot to where when we come back, we're starting fresh with whatever rewards we get from the expedition project. It's going to be interesting to see how they weave the lore into this, because what this game really does well is provide a sense of immersion into this world with the sounds, the music, the various lore. So it's going to be interesting to see how they weave this into the game and make it feel like a natural mechanic, not something that's just a side project. All right, let's continue. What is kept? What is lost? So what do you keep through an expedition versus what is lost? Players will lose anything inherent to their character's progress: levels, skills, items, inventory, workshop, crafting capabilities, etc. Players will keep cosmetics earned or purchased, awards, achievements, rankings, etc. Essentially, anything rooted solely in the metagame or involving real money will be preserved. For convenience, after completing an expedition, players will be able to skip the majority of the onboarding and tutorial steps they went through as a new player. This being things like unlocking certain features, maps, etc. as they play through the early game. These will just be available from the start of a fresh reset. Now, aside from players who like the thrill of starting fresh, why would you willingly give up all of your hard-earned progress and incentives? Benefits and incentives. We are still finalizing the exact benefits and rewards, but they will generally follow along these lines. Permanent account unlocks for each completed expedition, unique cosmetic rewards for each completed expedition, account buffs that are applied for the duration of following expedition cycle, and sequential completions of the expedition project increase the magnitude of these buffs up to a limit. One point to drive home is that we are being very careful about the nature of these benefits. Completing a reset should never give a player a power or combat advantage over anyone who has not completed a reset. Initially, these benefits will center around cosmetics, bragging rights, quality of life, and smoothing out some aspects of progression for those who have gone through a reset. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they will make this mechanic worth a wipe. What I imagine is they're saying that these exhibitions are exploring unexplored areas of Speranza. So I'm wondering if these areas are gonna be sort of like a special PvP area where players that enter it are ones that are, choosing to wipe their account and know that these players are sort of the more hardcore players. And in here, the account buffs that are applied will, could be more significant than other players. And that way you have sort of a top side that is everyone's on an equal playing field, no buffs, nothing like that. People can continue to grow their loot and explore and just play the game how they want, spend as much time as they want. But when you dive into the expedition project zones, this is sort of where the hardcore players are at, the players that have prestige, and you go in knowing that this is going to be harder. You're going to face stronger players because of the buffs, or the AI could be stronger, something like that. Something that makes it a little bit different feeling. And I'm curious if that's how they're going to present it, as this is a different, more hardcore area of Speranza. Finally, Virgil says, what comes next? While any and all of this is subject to change between now, launch, and post-launch, that is about the shape of it right now. We hope that by making the reset mechanic voluntary and properly incentivized, we can observe two results. One, players who are highly engaged can experience the game fresh on a regular cadence while accruing some benefits. Players who have less time to dedicate to the game don't have their progress reset outside of their control, and they are always able to keep moving forward and at their own pace if they so choose. It's not a silver bullet and won't achieve a clean break that a mandatory global reset does, but it does aim to be more equatable to all players wherever possible. We want to value your time spent in the game as much as you do. Of course, this is a complex topic, so we'll be keeping an eye on the discussion around the message and follow up as necessary. Thank you all for your interest in and passion for Arc Raiders. I look forward to seeing you topside. Virgil. So, as a Destiny player, why does this, statement here from one of the developers of Arc Raiders, the director, design director, why does this carry a lot of weight to me? Destiny over the years have said one thing and kind of half answered it and forgotten the rest of it, like PvP maps. We haven't gotten new PvP maps in a long time. So why is this one here? Why do I trust this? Well, for one, there's a game that they made called The Finals, and Arc Raiders was announced before the finals. The finals had completed and they went ahead and released that first. And one of the reasons probably that I think happened was they played this game. This game was supposed to be PvE only, the Arc Raiders, and they said it wasn't fun enough. They didn't have a lot of enjoyment out of it. It felt kind of boring. And so they redesigned the game to make it an extraction style game. And then they had us play test it. A lot of playtesters that did the first early alphas said that the latest version of this game with extraction as part of its core was a lot more fun than just a PvE game that they played. So that is why I am very positive about what they said here. I'm very excited to see how they're going to do this and excited to see the changes that they're going to make. It definitely looks like they put a lot of passion into this game. They're going to really keep a pulse on its community, and they want to definitely spice things up. They want to keep things fun. They know that a wipe does that, but they also know that a wipe also scares off a lot of players. So I'm definitely going to probably try to participate in these wipes, try to complete an expedition to see how fun it is and report back to you all. Now, this game is having a server slam this weekend. So starting October 17th through the weekend, you're going to be able to play this game for free on all its platforms: Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, and Epic Game Store. So no requirement to play. You don't have to buy it. You just have to make an account with them, and then you'll be able to play it for free. So jump in. Tell me what you think. Are you having fun with this game? Are you excited for it? Do you wish they had wipes just like in Escape from Tarkov, where everyone starts fresh? Are you excited to see that maybe the veteran players, the more hardcore players, are going to be doing wipes, and when you go topside against them, they won't just stomp on you? I'm pretty excited about it. I'm just excited. It sounds like we're not getting just a game mode that you jump into like extraction shooter. We're getting a game universe, a game world, with lore and deep sounds and everything. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm excited. This feels like a full launch game, and we'll see how it goes. As always, make sure you hit that follow button, hit that like button. If you want to see more Arc Raiders content from me, let me know if you were liking this stuff. Let me know if you're excited. Put your comments below. Comment if you're excited, if you're concerned about this game. Does the third person aspect put you off? I know a lot of people are like, well, I play first person shooters. This third person thing, I don't know. One thing I like to say is Fortnite and PUBG, they were both started in third person, and they're pretty popular in their genre. At least PUBG kind of was, and then Fortnite took over. But yeah, so just let me know, does the third person perspective put you off? Comment below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.